Hey friends, so a few weeks ago I backed the Indiegogo campaign for the Chameleon color tops, and to go with those color tops I also bought a set of the Complete Your Collection 30 new colors released by Chameleon, since I have the primary color set which I'd purchased for a review pretty much immediately after Chameleon released their markers. Now Chameleon markers are some of the most unique alcohol markers I've seen on the market, and when I initially reviewed them I really didn't like them because I'm used to doing my alcohol marker work a particular way, and these markers are not conducive to that particular method. But since then I have seen so many phenomenal artists who didn't grow up using Copic markers, they grew up using Chameleon markers, releasing amazing works. I thought maybe this old dog could learn some new tricks, so I decided to give them another chance. And this was definitely spurred on by some of the beautiful color blends I saw that were used when you combine Chameleon markers with the Chameleon color tops. And this is absolutely not a sponsored video. Both the tops and the markers were paid for out of pocket by me using funds generated by my Patreon. So if you enjoy these sort of reviews, please do head on over to my Patreon and consider giving me your support. And I am going to be doing a blog post for these in addition to, sort of a blog follow-up, in addition to these videos. So if you enjoy both video and blog, please do check that out. So I ordered this set of 30 additional colors from Dick Blick, and they came in exceedingly fast, but I ordered these like months ago while waiting for the color tops to arrive. So it's been kind of difficult to sit here and not get a head start. And this set also comes with the tweezers that are used for removing the nibs, a variety of additional nibs, including their Japanese nibs, which, I mean, are not as nice as the Copic marker nibs I found, but you may feel this is different. This is for adult and craft use only, not intended for use by children under 14 years of age. And to see video tutorials and additional information, visit chameleonpins.com. And store these in a cool place, which would not be my apartment because the AC is off and it's like 80 in here and I am dying. So in this set we get PK2, PK4, PK5, sort of sounding like Earthbound here, RD2, RD3, RD5, OR3, YO2, GR1, GR2, GR4, BG1, BG3, BL2, BL4, BL7, BV2, VO2, NU00, NU0, NU2, NU4, BR1, BR3, BR4, NG4, CG5, CG9, WG3, and WG7. And like I said earlier, I'd ordered the primary set of 5 a while back, and I didn't want to rebuy markers I already owned. So we remove the paper wrapping, and we've got a lovely cardboard case with Chameleon color tones embossed and a carrying handle that clips on. Don't know if you guys can see that well. It is black on black. And let's see how this opens. Okay, it does not. Oh, the top has to slide off. That's annoying. I was hoping it would open easel style. It does not. And this set includes space for your 20 original markers if you so happen to own the 20 original markers. And it's got filler in here to help keep these from sliding around too much. What it doesn't come with is it does not come with a blender marker, which is kind of a shame. You'd think they could throw in a blender marker. It also comes with a fair amount of instructional information. So, collecting photos as I go. Here we have explanation of the ways these can be used. Your nibs, your Chameleon color tone nibs are double-ended with a Japanese bullet nib at one end and a super soft brush nib at the other. Both can be infused and are easily replaceable. Bullet nib, firm nib, great for outlining, drawing, and working in small areas with precise coloring. The bullet nib is very durable. Super soft brush nib. The brush nib has a paintbrush feel. Its soft fibrous structure allows ink to flow beautifully across paper for bigger color gradations. The brush nib is super soft, so for longer life, be light-handed. So these are fiber tips. These are not foam rubber tips like you get with a Copic or a Blick Studio brush or Prismacolor brush. Now I do prefer the bounce and spring of a super nib, so the fiber nibs don't impress me, but it is nice that you can replace them. When first using your Chameleon pen, the super soft brush nib might seem slightly hard and appear to be pointed, but in use it will quickly soften. Once this natural breaking in process is complete, the fibers at the end of the nib will loosen up and splay a little. This is normal and allows it to perform more like a paintbrush. Important, the brush nib is delicate, so for extended nib life, be light-handed when coloring. In the event you damage either nib, don't worry, they're inexpensive and easy to replace. And for the inks in these markers are alcohol-based, and when you're using alcohol markers, I recommend you use pigment-based inks for your line art, as these will not cause those to run. So they mention a detail pen, which is not included, and a colorless blender pen, which is also not included. They mention the refills and the mixing chamber, so I will pull one out to demonstrate. So these are the longest alcohol marker pens you will find because they come with a colorless blender chamber. And I'm gonna have to pull out my original set because I believe it didn't have this spacer right here in between, which goes right over the marker, rather the blender nib, to protect it. And the way you infuse the marker is you put the color tip to the colorless blending pod, and each marker has its own colorless blending pod, and they are color coordinated, which it does seem like a little, to me as someone who has used Copics, it does seem like a little bit of a waste, but you know, I am on board. I am on board to learn and on board to change. Now with the color tops, you use the top instead of the colorless blending pod. Surfaces. Alcohol-based inks are permanent on most surfaces. You can use Chameleon pens to work on wood, metal, glass, fabric, plastic, clay, and many more. As with all alcohol inks, display your work away from direct sunlight or the colors will fade, because alcohol inks are dye-based inks and dye-based inks are fugitive. Storage. Store your Chameleon color tones horizontally. This helps distribute the ink evenly and stops settling at either end. If you carry or store your Chameleon color tones vertically, we advise you to lay them horizontally for a short while before use. And then there's a demonstration of how the colorless blender pod works, and they want us to keep this middle portion here. That probably helps prevent this from drying out. And then here's some tips on adjusting the color of your pen. Always use a scrap piece of paper to test the color to ensure it's the color and tone you want. As you color, the pen will gradually darken back to the pure color. How quickly this happens depends on how long you infuse the toning medium. When coloring, if you wish to go back to a lighter tone, place the mixing chamber back on the nib for further infusion. Think of dialing it back to a lighter color tone. As you color, go slightly over the previous line to ensure a seamless gradation. Make sure to color using the tip of the nib to eliminate streaks in your gradation. There is no single right way to color with alcohol-based markers. Over time, people develop their own preferences, such as circular motions or side-to-side coloring. These and many other methods work well with Chameleon color tone pens. For best results, keep the nib of the Chameleon pen in contact with the substrate while you're working. This is the key to smooth color blends and transitions. When the nib of your pen is in contact with the paper, you are essentially allowing it to spread the color. Once the pen is lifted from the paper, the toning medium begins to dissipate and color may darken. When you put the pen back on the paper, this may cause a seam to appear in your blends. Tip: you can quickly blend out the seam by reinfusing the nib to lighten the color again. Start by coloring a short distance from the seam to blend and smooth, well, to smoother out smoother out the color and return to a seamless color transition. For instructional videos, visit chameleonpens.com. And then here is a chart of how long you could infuse the color. So 0 seconds, right? Pretty much no gradation. 5 seconds light, etc., etc. And you guys will see that as we demonstrate. We also received another informational packet, which is in multiple languages. It may just be a companion for this. Yeah, I think it might be. Yes. So French, Spanish, sorry. More French? And German. We did briefly go through this box, which is fine for an unboxing, but we didn't go through the accessories at all, and that is my mistake. So I beg your patience for a short while. So the accessories come in a thin cardboard box, and the nibs come in a little silver envelope. There's a bunch of them in here. Those are Japanese nibs. And maybe some bullet nibs. I don't want to dump them all out, but I will. Yeah. Okay, so it's mostly the Japanese nibs. There are a few hard little bullet nibs, and then a few of, these are the nibs that are used in the infuser, so they are not really an appropriate replacement for the little Japanese nibs. And I'm just going to put that to the side right there. We also have our tweezers, which look like fairly standard tweezers, maybe a little longer than the Copic tweezers and a little thinner at the top. Let me see. Yes. So these are the Copic tweezers. These are the Chameleon tweezers. So the Chameleon tweezers are more similar to regular tweezers than, say, the Copic tweezers are. Anyway, that is the accessories pack for the Chameleon markers. If you enjoy this, make sure you keep watching for more alcohol marker goodness. All right, so that was the unboxing for my Chameleon Color Tones additional 30 color set. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful. If you did enjoy this video, consider subscribing to this channel because I plan on doing much more with my Chameleon markers and my Chameleon color tops in the upcoming weeks. And if you really enjoy my alcohol marker content, consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/nattosoup. My patrons will get early access to all of these videos and exclusive access to quite a few tutorial videos. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you guys have a great day. See you again really soon. Bye guys.